and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me, to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
Dirk Manning here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave But Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're really going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Got him. You see that? You didn't know what to do. He's like, oh.
Yeah. Didn't know that was my cue. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that was great. No,
that's
usually
great.
I
Yeah,
come out and I
that's
do a
good
little.
for the non-existent blooper reel that nobody creates
Yeah,
on these shows.
No, I set that one up. That was perfect.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thanks for setting me up. Yeah.
Usually I'll pop in first and I'll be like, hey, everybody, we're doing this and we got that news. And I was like, man, he just looks too comfortable.
Yeah. Sitting here in my my zip up hoodie and a Teenage Ninja Turtles t-shirt underneath. It's great.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing a jacket and a Lunatics Fringe t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
it's good to be comfortable, man. It's good to be comfortable whether you're inside a studio or in somebody else's studio. It doesn't matter.
it is freezing freaking cold
It
out there.
is. It is. It's
Yeah.
like 40 degrees where I am right now. It's sad.
Oh, we got colder than that, bro. We're
It's cool.
colder than that. We got the snow coming down, and it looks like still like Christmas.
Bring out the shovels.
Yeah. Thanks. No, actually, I don't think I can do no shoveling this time around for a month or two yet. Anyway, after surgery, it'll be a little while before I'm out there trying to push snow around. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is good to see you back. I heard you've been through the ringer lately, but it's good to see you back.
Well, I mean, my problem is I don't have slow gear, Brian.
It's okay.
You know, I mean, like, supposed to be over there laying down. I got shit to do, you know, and that's the way I've always been. I think the only day I was really not totally with it was the day they cut me up, you know, was the day of surgery. I think the next day on Saturday, I was right there for Stephen B's show and ready to go and back to setting shows up and doing my thing. This is my thing. You are Ryan Permison, and you do this too.
Yeah, I've been known to do a few things in my life that are worth talking about, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you do the talk to people online about stuff.
I do.
In video, yes. For those of you who don't know, and I quote, like it says behind him, is one of Ryan's shows. I'm going to say, because they're not all titled the same.
No.
Does anniversary shows for movies and all kinds of stuff. So, why?
Why? I mean, that's like, I mean, geez, that's a hard one. No, I'm just kidding. That's an easy one. I do it because I love it. And if you love what you do, it's not called work. I've been a fan of pop culture since I was, 3 or 4. I have no regrets. It's been a blast. I love doing what I do, and I do 2 to 3 shows a week, sometimes 3 shows a week, mostly just 2 because that's what my work schedule allows. Because we got to pay them bills, y'all. But it's fun. I get to meet new people every week. I get to talk about the things I'm passionate about, but then I also get to support others in whatever it is that they're venturing into, and to the best of my ability, of course. And it's fun. I actually just did some Black Friday shopping with a few indie artists and authors that we know of, and bought some of their stuff earlier tonight before I jumped on this show. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
It's funny because Kaz and I did some Black Friday shopping earlier today.
Nice.
Do you pay for your StreamYard? What StreamYard do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I can. Well, it's a group of people that use this StreamYard studio that I'm currently using. So I contribute a certain amount of money every month to make sure I can still use it. So it's part of a group of people who use it, but it's great. It works, and the X amount of dollars that I have to pay every month, it's worth it to me. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me.
No, I just wanted to tell you what happened to us today.
Oh, okay.
So people who are on free StreamYard,
yes,
are being offered 40% off to upgrade to advanced. Okay, which is quite the deal because that gives you like the same price for a year of StreamYard that you paid last year for advanced, right? But you got to be free. If you already have it, you don't get that 40% off deal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's tough.
But this StreamYard was under my name, and now we have a business, so our business is getting that 40% off.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Cool.
But it was a Black Friday thing. You had to jump, right? Well, our StreamYard's up in February. So that'll give us a couple months to transfer everybody's shows over, get the new ones set up and ready to, and this one falls out. Right? And instead of paying that horrible $800 or $900 freaking dollars that they upped the price to ridiculously, I couldn't believe it, man. But we broke their ankles, man. We shifted left, shifted right. We're right back where we were. Yeah, baby. and that's good. It's a good thing. Now, I was just checking with you guys because if you got somebody who's got the free in your group, you can get that 40% off for the year.
Oh, well, I'm sure the person I work with or, owns, like it's under, not my name, but it's under someone else's name.
Right.
That person can figure it out for themselves. I'm sure they've been doing it for years. They've been using StreamYard for years. So I'm sure whoever's listening or watching can figure it out.
Yeah,
So
if
you know who
you're
you are, buddy. You got this.
Yeah, if you're watching, just grab one of the other people in the group who has a free StreamYard and upgrade theirs, and you'll get the 40% off, and then you all use that one instead. That's all. It's real simple. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, one step at a
Saving
time.
money is way more important than, I mean, if you can get away with it, if you can save the money, it's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true.
And look, and Kaz over there frantically studying StreamYard tutorials.
There's plenty of them on YouTube for sure. I'm not gonna lie.
And I mean, it's way deeper than I use it for too. I mean, they got the seminars and all kinds of stuff that you can be involved in StreamYard that I just ain't got time for all that stuff, But I got a partner who loves to research. That's
of course,
him.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, well, that's him, the cosmonaut. All right, Cosmic. Yeah, sorry.
That's it right there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Nice look, by the way, with the beard and the pair of shades and a hat. That kind of reminds me of a friend we knew back in the day. It's called the Blues Brothers. So,
have you seen Three Beer Men on Sunday nights?
You know what, man? There's only so many hours in a day, and I work overnights, 6 nights a week. So I don't really have time to do all this stuff.
That's the show they do. That's the show he does
cool.
on the network. Three Beer Men.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. I mean, all these guys are part of the network. Levi's my co-host on Monday Madness and the Open Draw stream, and I love that these guys all look out for each other and want this thing to succeed. And Cosmic was using Zoom and OBS. And he's coming over to StreamYard too, because we already had it, right? It's like it was a no-brainer to save the money,
Gotta save money where you can.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
And that's why I was throwing it out to you guys in case, you guys want to save some money, keep what you got, not have to, God damn, $900. I was blown away when they said they were doubling the price.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Well, understandably so.
They didn't they didn't make things twice as good.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see why they were trying to ask for twice as much money. If they made we had 20 destinations to go out to, if they doubled everything for us, then yeah, maybe, right? Then maybe you could double the price, but they didn't add that many new features to justify that much of a price hike,
right?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is why he's here. He's here for the free wheels.
Free wheels.
It's Freewheeling Friday.
Can I get some free? Can I get some
right now? Right now.
Could I get some free wheels? I mean,
right now you can. Yes.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, with regards to this show, yeah, I'm freewheeling it right now, but yeah, that's one way to put it, guys. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were going to put me on a Price is Right set and say you got a brand new car. It's just Well, can I compete in the Showcase Showdown? Maybe I don't know.
It may not be a car you can actually drive.
Darn it. I was hoping for that really nice looking. What was it that we saw the other? I think it was a Honda Pilot or something. I wanted to drive. I was like, doggone it. Who knows? Maybe Honda will call me and offer me a free car. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anybody know? Yeah. Anybody know people in the Honda industry? Let me know.
I know that I wish our channel was a lot bigger because I went to one of the very premier RV builders.
Oh sure,
and,
yeah.
And I'm like, we want an RV. We'll promote the hell out of you forever. Give us an RV.
You see that thing right outside our window? That's an RV. But don't you get too attached to it now, Clark.
You see, if we can get this whole thing rolling where we're doing the Madness Roadshow and everything, yeah, that's a possibility then, and that's all I'm looking for is the angles. And that means bringing as many shows to the network as I can. Right.
I hear you. You want me to jump from Raw to SmackDown? I know. It's always a switch into the brands, man. You know, I'm competing with AEW. I'm working for AEW. You want me to come on over to WWE?
I'm telling you
So,
to come back to the Attitude Era, bro.
The Attitude Era, which was a lot of fun to watch, by the way. When I was when some of us here were growing up, it was fun to watch those shows. I was flipping through channels every Monday. It was insane. It was wild, but it was fun. For those of you who grew up watching pro wrestling in the 90s when the wars were going on between Nitro and Raw,
oh yeah,
those were some of the best wars, man. They were just fun to watch. And truth be told, you know, I'm an NWO Wolfpack guy, so
yeah.
I mean, I got 2 Wolfpack shirts.
Get
exactly. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Give me 1 second. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, brother. Yeah. We are the cream that rises to the top. Oh yeah. You know, it's gosh.
I love it.
I love it. I got 2 Wolfpack shirts and I'm not ashamed to say it. And the other thing is one of the beauties about going to these events, also known as conventions for those of you who follow this sort of stuff. I went to, what was it called? It was GalaxyCon. I believe it was in Richmond, Virginia last year. This was last year. So this is going back a while. Okay. And I waited, how long was it? It was 2023, right? So I was watching in 1998. So 1998, 2008, that's 25. I think that was it like 25 some odd year, 20 some odd years. And I met Big Sexy. I met Kevin Nash, the leader of the Wolfpack, the real leader of the Wolfpack, not Hollywood Hogan. It wasn't Hollywood Hogan. It was Kevin Nash. And when I met Kevin Nash, I had not 1, but 5 items for him to sign. He signed every single one of them, whether it was an NWO biography DVD that the WWE had released when they first brought him back in 2002. And then he signed his Kevin Nash, the Outsider VHS tape from the WCW Superstar Series that was released in 1999. That's going back, folks. That's going back a minute. And then he signed his Super Shredder Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Funko Pop. He'd signed that. No problem. He signed it in green ink, too, because of the ooze. That was good. And then he said to me, because I told him I waited so long to meet you. You were my favorite wrestler when I first started watching wrestling. You were my favorite guy. You are like my favorite. From the very beginning, you were my favorite wrestler. And I said, because I like the way you led the Wolfpack. I liked your jackknife powerbomb when you were beating everybody's ass. I liked the match when you defeated Goldberg and ended his 174-0 streak at Starrcade 98 in Washington, D.C., which was only an hour and change away from my house at that time. And I wish I would have known that a while back so I could have been in the arena when he won the belt that night. But I told him how much that meant to me as a fan and all that other stuff. And he was so cool about it. He really appreciated it. He's really chill with the fans, too. He's really good about it. The moment I start walking away from him, he was like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't leave just yet. I said, why? What's up? He says, I want to give you this. So he signed an 8x10 of him with the championship belt from 1999 with his Wolfpack regalia, his Wolfpack wrestling gear on. And he signed it, to Ryan, Kevin Nash. And I'm like, holy crap, man. He did that for free. He didn't even charge me for it.
I got a Kevin Nash story too.
He signed that for me, and I was like, dude, thank you so much. Like that's a Comic-Con moment. That is a moment that I'm never going to forget. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for all the autographs. And my friend who was with me that weekend videotaped 30 seconds of our interactions together. That was great.
I met him way back before people had videotape cameras.
Before people had videotape? Okay, all right.
Before there was, the cell phones and
smartphones. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I met Kevin when he was about to fight Hogan for the championship. The classic laydown match. Okay.
Oh, you mean the finger poke of doom? The finger
poke.
Was
in radio at the time, and he had gone to KUPD to do an interview in Phoenix.
Oh, in Phoenix.
And we're there, and we're in the studio, and I had a side gig. I was making anybody but T-shirts. Anybody but Jeff Gordon, anybody but Tiger Woods. I was sick of all the people that were winning all the time. So I came up with this idea for T-shirts. Anybody but was the brand. And I gave him an anybody but Hulk Hogan shirt. I gave it to Kevin, anybody but Hogan shirt, because he was about to fight Hogan, right?
Oh, that's right. I remember that, yeah.
Oh, dude. He was like, I didn't ask him for no autographs, and I was giving him something, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what was his reaction when you gave him the shirt?
Well, I threw it to him, and he went, whoa, and he caught it, right? Because he didn't expect me to just throw it.
He was like, woo, right?
So he caught it, and he unrolled it, and he looked at it, and he goes, I like that. But, I mean, God, dude's huge. I mean, I'm 5'8".
He's a beast.
Hey, dude's a fucking monster.
He's
you know?
He's 7'1" and 315 pounds of raw muscle, man. He's a badass mamma jamma right there.
I was like, yeah, man, I just want to give you this, you know. It was like, and then in the studio, I got to ask him a couple questions because I was part of the radio team, so I got to get in, actually sit in the studio during the interview and shit. So it was cool. But
that's pretty damn cool, bro. That's dude, a cool moment right there. That's one of those moments you just can't buy. You just got to experience it for yourself.
And it's just like I said, it was before people had cameras and everybody was videoing everything and whatnot. It was just one of those moments. But if you go, if you can go to KUPD Radio in Phoenix and find that interview in the archives, you'll hear my voice. It's there.
That's funny, man. That's funny. You know, it's fun when you get to work in radio, because I worked in radio for a couple of years myself, and I met some cool people I was working with at the time, and we still keep in touch to this day, which is amazing, because most people, when they're in and out of the business, they just, you know, we go our separate ways and they go about their business. But yeah, I'm still in touch with my boys, Ken and Jeremy from Playmakers. We were on 105.7 The Fan here in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was the phone screener for the show, right? So every time someone would call in to the show, I would always say, what's your name? What do you want to speak about? What's your topic? Whatever. Oh, hello, young lady on screen. Anyway, sorry. Little distraction in the backstage area of someone else's studio that I am not aware of. But anyway, what I was saying was I was answering the phones, and every time I would answer the phone, I was like, okay, what's your name? What do you want to talk about? And every single time they would say, what up, Big Perm? Big Worm? They would call me Big Perm because Permacent, you know, Perm, P-E-R-M is the prefix of my last name. And they would call me that as a bit of a side gig, side joke. And I'm like, you know what? I don't mind being called that because it's the prefix of my last name anyway, so it kind of goes with the territory. And the other thing is, it's a funny line from the film Friday, so it doesn't bother me. It's funny. I dig it. And Ken and Jeremy call me that for the longest time. I think even to this day, if I were to bump into them at a bar or wherever it is that we meet up at, because eventually we want to have a Playmakers reunion, which is the name was the name of their show. They're probably going to call me that again, and it's just going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm back in 2008. Like I'm just sitting there as a young buck answering these flipping phones, man. But dude, you know, hey,
that's how I got. Fun. That's how I got pulled in. My buddy Rob was a production manager.
Oh, really?
At Z-Rock, right?
That's awesome.
And he would go in on Saturdays because nobody's in the building, and he can actually get some work done making commercials and stuff, right?
Oh, cutting the spots, yeah.
Because there's always people walking in the booth, even if the on-air lights on or whatever, the do not enter lights on, people would still walk in, interrupt him in the middle of taping something, right? So he'd go in on Saturdays when it's just a skeleton crew at the radio station. And then he called me up and he goes, dude, come on down here for me, answer some phones, man, and pull music for me and stuff so I can get some work done. I'm like, all right, you know. So I go down to the radio station. Before you know it, I'm the guy on the air half the time because he's in the booth. The song ended, and it's like, okay, I got like 30 seconds. I got to say something, you know, play a commercial, and I just rolled with it. And that's why this was so easy to do when I started doing this. I already had a history of being able to talk to a microphone, you know, with nobody else in the room or whatever, you know, and you're just talking to the mic, right?
Right. Just practicing. Yeah.
It made this really easy. Come out here and do this.
Yeah. You're honing your craft.
I got to meet everybody. I was backstage at every show I was in, dude. It was,
that's cool.
It was fun. I got to interview Foghat, the original members of Foghat, live on the air.
So right.
Oh, dude. Lonesome Dave. He's cool,
yeah.
And they come in, and I always thought those guys were like from Louisiana or something, right? They're from freaking Wales. They're from England. I didn't know that until they come in the studio and they start talking. I'm like, dang.
Isn't that where Christian Bale is from? Wales? Christian Bale, the actor? Am I right about that?
And, you know, I mean, we're talking and they asked me how I would describe their music. And I was like, well, it's like, you know, metal blues.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's metal blues. And so he turns around and he says, industrial blues metal. I like that. And I was like, dude. So, you know.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
there's moments, man.
There
Got
is.
got to meet Zach Wild.
There you
I've got
go.
to meet Peter Chris and Ace Frehley, and didn't care about the other two.
Don't worry, we won't mention that on the air. It's already out in the open, guys. Sorry.
They did, but
No, that's cool.
I mean, I got to meet everybody that I wanted to meet. I got to
Good
high
moments.
five. I got the low five Klaus mine as he's coming off the stage. Scorpions, right? Because if you high five him, he's gonna miss.
You know, one of the first karaoke songs I ever jammed out to for one of the songs that I performed it with is "Rock You Like a Hurricane."
Yeah,
I love that song.
yeah.
So yeah, that was one of my first songs I ever did at karaoke, and the women and everybody in the crowd at the bar I was at the time, they went nuts, man. They loved it every time I did it. And the other thing is, every time we come to the end of that song, the very last piece of it, "Rock You Like a," here I am. Like I always, pull a He-Man and just put my arm to the sky, like I have all the power with the microphone. And they loved it, man. And someone actually took their phone out and snapped a picture of me as I was pointing my microphone in my hand up into the air like I'm He-Man. And it's the funniest thing, because I look at that picture now and I'm like, oh my gosh, the shirt I was wearing, what I look. I mean, granted, I haven't changed too much since then, but at the same time, I'm like, man, you should have caught me when it was all the way up in the air, not like to the 3/4 mark. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's dark because they want to focus the lights like down on you and not so much the crowd. And I'm like, I can't see anybody. Like, you barely got my shot in there. It's crazy. So you could barely notice that it's me, but that it's a funny shot. I honestly, if you're friends with me on Facebook, the Book of Face, if you go back to some of my earliest photos, I think someone tagged me and I'm like in that shot. So feel free to look it up and see how crazy and weird that I looked, jamming out to that.
I recently had somebody send me some of my old photo albums.
Oh, really?
That were like still out in Phoenix, right?
Mm.
And, start looking through them, and there's pictures of me with microphone in hand, wearing my winged shirt and singing him. It's like, dude, I used to sing in a rock band when I was young, and all them pictures are there, and I'm just like, oh my. I'm looking at all these old pictures, and I'm like, man, I used to dress. Holy crap! I used to dress so glam rock. I didn't make up or shit, but I dressed glam rock. You know what I mean? It was fun.
Glam rock?
Yeah, it was funny.
It
was the hair metal.
Oh, the hair metal. You're right. Because I just saw a documentary about that not too long ago. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is the hair metal days. And everybody had a style. You had to have a style.
Well, right? There was what was the one we were just talking about? There were Scorpions. There was Guns N' Roses. There was Twisted Sister. Right? Poison. Is that an example? Does that count?
Yeah, Poison.
All those things. You had Poison. You had Poison. That was another one. Which, man, Nothing But a Good Time by Poison's a good song. I like that.
They had some good tunes. Yeah.
They did. Yeah, Bret Michaels and all those guys.
Cinderella was another one.
Yeah, there's another one. I'll give you that. Mm-hmm.
Skid Row. There was so many of them, but every one of those guys had their own style when it came to how they looked.
Right. Oh, they all did. Absolutely. You had to have your own, what is it called? You had to stand out from the crowd, man. Yeah. And that's the thing I learned a long time ago when I was much younger. And this is something for everybody out there too. And you've probably heard this before too, for those of you who are watching or listening. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? That's what we need to do. That's why, and I quote in my channel, stand out from a lot of other channels, because if we were just called, nerd news or nerd, that's so broad. It's so broad. But and I quote is very specific. Mm-hmm. So the moment you type in and I quote, my channel more or less is the first thing that comes up, because we got 1,200, 1,300 subscribers now, which is insane to think about. But thank you so much, everybody who has subscribed and who has contributed to our success, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. So it's amazing. I've interviewed some, I got to be honest with you, 2024 has been, every year is fun. Every year is fun. I have no bad experiences on set, but when I'm interviewing guys like Robert Wool from movies like Batman 89 and Arliss, and I'm interviewing guys like Guy Gilchrist, who worked with Jim Henson for decades, years, I should say. It's a gift, man. I'm so thankful for everybody who is willing to or agreed to be on the show and just take 60, 90 minutes of their time to talk to us, talk to me as a host, but also talk to the person who's watching this as an audience member and just say, this is the stuff that I've done. This is the stuff I love doing. And this is why I love it, because of the fans. The fans are what make that's what drives us, man. Like, seriously, if it weren't for the people who watch my shows, the people who like, because I get comments from certain individuals, not all the time, because everybody has different schedules, right? But when people comment and they say, hey, I really like this interview and this is why I liked it so much, and this is what made me think about this industry of comic books differently because of this person's experiences, it's like, wow, that's great stuff. It's fascinating. And I'm like, well, this is why we're here, is to, share our passions, but also encourage other people's passion or fascination with things. And, I mean, if it weren't for, the people we've had on this, on And I Quote earlier in the year, like I just wouldn't have known these things had I not heard these stories from certain individuals that have been on the show, which, by the way, the link is in the description. Links just popped up on our screen. You can go back and watch all our previous episodes. We have over 200 episodes now, which is amazing. And I think we're up to like 210, 215, 220 now. It's insane. And we're only getting better. We're only getting bigger and better, folks, because next year I got shows booked out until like March, if not April. So it's
crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's coming. It's amazing how time flies when you're having so much fun, by the way. So please be aware of that.
We have 2 shows on the network that probably have 300 episodes, and then like Lori's at 145, and Stephen B's at 100, and I mean a bunch of them are right around the 100 because they started when we started the actual network, and we had like 4 or 5 shows that started all at that time, and they're all right at the 100 mark. So it's like, I mean, we got so much content, dude. It's crazy. There's
you got like 20, 30 different shows on your channel.
And like 3,500 different videos, not counting shorts.
Right, 3,500.
Shorts is another 1,500 or whatever. But,
well, whatever works, right? Whatever works. I mean, you got some cool folks on this network of yours. I mean, and one or two of them have been on my set, which is great, and we hope to get more. So
that's the networking part of it. Okay?
That's the beauty of life.
That's why I don't consider you guys competition, and I'm not trying to poach you from their network. Okay, but the offer's always there.
I'm gonna make an offer. You're always gonna pull a Corleone on me and be like, I'm gonna make him an offer that kind of refuse, but he keeps refusing it. But I'm gonna make him the offer anyway, because he's a good kid and I like him. I like his talent, because you're gonna keep pulling your Brando on me, whether it's the Corleone iteration of Godfather, or you could go back to the 50s, I think it was, or 60s, and pulling on the waterfront. And you're like, Ryan, you are a contender. You're gonna be somebody, man. We got to bring you over to the network.
It's more like this. It's more like this.
Yeah, sure.
We gonna get him, Spocko. Do you remember the Star Trek episode where they were in Chicago?
Chicago with them bears, We're in Chicago with that deep dish pizza, that frying pan pizza or something, man. My best friend who lives in Pennsylvania right now, he is originally he grew up in the Windy City of Chicago. And he said to me, you know what, Ryan, one of these days I'm going to take you to Chicago. We're going to go back to my stomping grounds. We're going to go to C2E2, which is one of the biggest shows in the world in Chicago, right? That's in Illinois. And we're going to head out there. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to introduce you to all these fine people of Chicago. I'm going to introduce you to all the Chicago pizzas, all the great food we have out there in Chicago. You're absolutely going to love it. I said, hey, man, just tell me when and where. And I'm like, I'll pack my bags tomorrow and we'll go.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been. I've never been. Me personally, because I can't speak for everybody, but I've never been to Illinois. But I'm willing to visit it. I'm like willing to go if I'm going with a team of people or my friends. Like I'm down.
I can tell you exactly how much of Illinois I've been in.
How much?
Exactly. Amway track to Grand Central. Walked from Grand Central to the Sears Tower, went up to the top of the Sears Tower, checked it out, went back down, walked back to Grand Central, and got on my connecting train.
That's it? You went from here to there, you went up, you came back down, and then you went back over to Grand Central. Like, I'm just going to pop on this train. I'm going to hop on home. What? Really? Come on, man. It's Chicago. There's so much history there.
I was on my way to Pennsylvania from Flagstaff and had like a 3-hour layoff.
Oh my gosh,
in
Pennsylvania.
Chicago.
Okay. Well, I've been to
So
Pennsylvania numerous
you know,
times, specifically Philadelphia and Oaks. So
for me, it was Shermansdale, out in the
Sherman.
middle of nowhere. I
That
loved it.
sounds like it's in the middle of no man's land.
It was beautiful. It was
Is it?
beautiful. Yeah.
Do you have
It's like
pictures of this?
90 miles maybe from Harrisburg, southwest of
That's
Harrisburg.
where my friend is. He's up in Harrisburg. So
Yeah. Really
Yep.
nice. Beautiful area.
Is it? Do you have pictures of this? Can we see this on your Facebook?
No, that was like before my Facebook days.
Darn it. Because I was hoping to see pictures of this place so I can see what it looks like.
It was just a beautiful, like, 8 acres with a creek running through the back. And, I mean, it was nice. My friend Dennis, it was his family.
Dennis. Okay.
It's his family. So
Oh, it's his family. Okay.
yeah, I was just going there to visit.
Visit? Yeah. Well, that works. Hey, whatever works, man. There's nothing wrong with visiting family or friends.
Well, I wanted to ride a train across country. I had never ridden a train before.
By the way, that's on my bucket list, just so you know.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. I had a blast. I rode from Flagstaff to Harrisburg, hung out there in Pennsylvania for a few months, and then rode it back to Arizona again. But riding a train was fun. I met people. We had a blast. Can I tell you, it's different than getting on a plane.
Well,
Much different.
I'm not really big on planes, so I'd rather take. Me personally, nothing against people who do it because people have to travel for work. I'd rather take a train across country than take a plane ride.
Yeah. Or drive.
Me personally,
either, except for the tickets and the cops.
Well,
that was the cool thing about the train.
Does anyone really like having to go through toll booths?
That was the cool thing about the train. There was no cops, no rest areas,
there was no toll booths,
no gas stations, gas
stations.
It was pretty cool. I liked it. I would do it again. Bus not so much. Bus not so much fun. Train fun. Buses suck, man. They never hit their schedule. You miss your connecting bus. You're stuck in a strange town with,
didn't that happen?
18 hours before your next bus comes.
Yeah, that's happened a bunch of times to people we may or may not know, including Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He missed buses, so he had to hop on a train. So
I missed one on my way to Savannah Comic-Con from Michigan now.
Is this Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, I was going all the way down to Savannah because we set up a table and actually broadcast CromCon from the floor in Savannah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
a couple of years ago, and I got to Cleveland, and the bus had just left.
No kidding.
So instead of getting all the way to where my buddy is, Chris, and hooking up with him, he had to come to Ohio and get me, and then we drove down there because the next bus to take me from Ohio to Pennsylvania was 18 hours later. And we would have missed the whole day of the con. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay. He's just like, I'm coming to get you, and we'll go. So he came and got me and picked me up at the bus stop, and then we drove all the way down. And good times.
All right, man. You're well traveled. Let's be perfectly honest. Between the two of us, since one of us is a bit older than the next, you've traveled and gone more.
You are looking kind of old. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're only a few years older than me, but I mean, you've got a lot of mileage, man. I'm telling. But you know what? And our good friend tells us this every so often. I see him. He says it's not the years, honey, it's the mileage. So
there you go.
Got to take that into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. Which is funny because that's the first cosplay. The first cosplay I ever did was Indiana Jones. So, which is fun, by the way. People came up to me and asking for pictures, and that's a good feeling to have when you're a cosplayer, especially when you're a first one out of the gate too.
Right.
Yeah. Don't you like those? I mean, I cosplay as like 5 different characters. I'm thinking of doing 2 more next year if I can put the finances together. Because right now I'm a bit of a, right now I got some other stuff going on and projects I need to worry about. But cosplaying is another fun aspect of going to conventions because I've cosplayed as Indiana Jones, my first one out of the gate. That was fun. A friend of mine encouraged me to do it. That's how I was able to get the pieces of the costume because he was the expert and he hooked me up with the links to buy the necessary pieces to the costume, by the way, because there are a lot of things you could do to put together a costume. I've gone as a Jedi, from a generic Jedi from Star Wars, because I mean I like different characters from Star Wars, but I just like going as a Jedi because I like Jedi. Hashtag Team Jedi, not Sith. Even though the Sith have offered me numerous times to come over to their side because I can get free cookies and free insurance. But I just don't see it working. But I've also gone as Marty McFly from 1985 with the puffy red vest, the life preserver, if you will. People always ask me, "What'd you do? Jump ship?" And I'm like, "What? Well, what's with the life preserver? And I'm like, I just want to use the phone. Yeah, it's in the back. And I'm just pulling this out of my rear. So it's fun when I get those questions. Like, what's with the life preserver? Would you jump a ship or something? I'm like, no. They just don't know that I'm in the wrong time zone, with the wrong time period. Gee whiz. Let's see. And I will say this. I think I've said this to you before, Pops, but do you want to hear another Comic-Con story? Do we have time for that? Or do you want me to go into something else?
You have it's Freewheeling Friday, bro. There's
All right,
no.
well, let me share this story with you, because I think the person who's watching and listening to this may get some ideas of what it's like to go to a convention. So if you haven't been to a convention, this is one of the best things about it. So one of the shows that was around back in the early 2000s, this is going back about 23 years. Smallville was a big deal back in the day. Now, Smallville is an origin story of how Clark Kent eventually accepts his destiny and becomes Superman towards the end of the series. # minor spoiler. And I watched this show going into halfway through season 5, and I watched it all the way through 5 all the way to the end of season 10. So then I went back and got the DVDs, caught up on the show and whatnot. It's my favorite show of all time. I can relate to this character Clark Kent for so many different reasons. I'm sure the person who's watching or listening to this can do that too. So I went to AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C., 2024. And I met Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, who portrayed Clark Kent and Lex Luthor respectively on the show.
Yes, and I like those guys. I like both those guys.
And I wore my cosplay outfit that I've waited. I mean, I bought it not too long ago, but what I'm saying is that I waited 18 years to meet these guys, and also I waited 18 years to dress up as this character because I loved it for so long. And so anyway, I walk up to him with my red jacket, blue shirt, pair of blue jeans, pair of boots. I'm basically dressed as Clark Kent, which is what literally Tom Welling wore from like season 5 on.
Yeah.
And I walk up to Michael, and he said, "Oh, dude, you look good in this outfit." I was like, "Thanks." And so we talked. He signed my Funko Pop. He signed this poster from season 5 that I had, because that's when I started watching the series overall. And Tom signed it. I had very specific requests for them to sign with certain lines from the 100th episode of Smallville, which is titled Reckoning. That's when I first started watching the show, the 100th episode. And they signed it. They signed their Funko Pops with their actor name and their character name. I got them JSA authenticated. They were great about it. Everybody was cool. And our pro photo op, which is my profile picture on my my Facebook and my Instagram and all that stuff, is my favorite pro photo op I've had in my 12-year career of going to conventions. So if you go and follow me on Instagram, which you can see on this name tag here, at RyanRPM5, that is my favorite photo op right now of all time, because standing next to Clark Kent and Lex Luthor and wearing the Clark Kent outfit, I mean, that's just, that was like, I've waited 18 years for that, and that was a moment. That is a moment. So when you go to conventions and you've waited X amount of time to meet certain celebrities or certain artists, whatever it is, just know that you're having a moment, and that you just got to hold on to that and just don't lose it. Because granted, some people have those moments and they don't always work out the way that they had planned. But in my case, mine worked out to the way that I planned it out, to the best of my ability, at least to a certain extent. And it was one of the best moments of my life. It was one of the best moments of my, just career in general, like just everything in general. So the next time I see Tom and Michael, I'm going to talk to him again, have a little bit of extended conversation with him, and it's going to be great, because I'll be wearing my outfit all over again.
You got to dress as Lex next time.
No, I can't pull off the bald headed look. No way. I can't shave my head, much less wear a bald cap. So.
You just wear a hat and the nice suit and your legs. Just get a nice fedora or something. You don't have to be bald. See, my gig right now, Ryan, is I'm trying to get well known enough so that people cosplay me. No, I'm kidding. I cosplay as myself when I go to cons, because I'm setting a brand, right? So I'm there with the hat, quite visible. People know that's me, the Black Venom desk with the sheriff's badge and the hat. There's Pops, right? And that's around here, the local cons. It's cool because people see me and they know me. But I'd like to get to the point where any con I go to, people see me and they know me. And that takes branding. And I can't be going to cons dressed as somebody else if I'm trying to set my brand. So as much as I like dressing up like Alice Cooper and people that I can pull off, long-haired people, because because I ain't cutting nothing, bro. And no, I ain't wearing no skull cap neither. See, so anybody that I cosplay or Halloween costume as has to be, Qui-Gon Jinn length hair, you know what I mean? It's like, and yeah, I've done him, I've done Alice Cooper, and I've done Santa Pops where I went ahead and grew the beard way out and then floured my hair and beard so that it was all white, completely white. The kids have painted my hair both white and black in the same weekend. I was Alice Cooper one day and Gandalf the next.
You know, it's funny you say that because I just bought the Lord of the Rings extended cuts.
Actually, that was backwards. I was Gandalf one day.
DVD.
That night, they had whited my beard and whited my hair and everything, and it was. And then that night after that show, I shaved the beard and everything off and came out here the next day with black hair and black makeup, and I was Alice Cooper. You see what I'm saying? It was like that was in one weekend. It was fun. And that was live on the air. Gandalf one day and Alice Cooper the next.
Yeah.
That requires shaving off all the beard.
No, I can't imagine you with being clean shaven because then you wouldn't be Pops. So
well, see, that's what I mean. I'm setting this brand, but it doesn't always, it's not always who I'm trying to be. Sometimes I'm Dante.
Oh, I see. Nice picture, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a nice likeness too. Yeah,
Lou Ponce did that art. She's amazing. But I mean, I've had so many people draw me over the last few years that it's all in fun. I have so much fun doing this.
Who doesn't? It's always fun.
I mean, because you do it too. There's just so many times I'm just blown away. Just the other day in the draw stream, Addie Marie, one of the artists that shows up on Sunday for the open draw stream, she drew this, Ryan. Just a couple days ago. That avatar right there. It's brand new avatar. And we watched her draw it during the draw stream, on Sunday, which we do every Sunday, the Madness Open Draw Stream. You want to come out and draw with some indie artists? More than
Too bad I don't know how to draw. I can draw you some stick figures, but that's about it.
I know I can't draw either. I feel so stupid on that show.
Yeah, I wouldn't even show up to the live stream. I would just let the professionals do their thing because I'm not even worthy of being on the draw stream set.
That's me. That's how I feel. But it's like if they're all drawing, nobody's watching the comments. Nobody, somebody has to field the comments, tell everybody what the fans are saying, and so they can interact. That's the whole purpose. Even my co-host is an artist that's drawing at the time, so I kind of have to play that part, that host of that show, but I really feel out of place because I don't know nothing about art forms and shit like that, It's like, that's not me. It's not my thing.
Not your thing. No, it's fine, man. Stick with what you know.
Yeah, I do pretty good at that.
Yeah, we do pretty good at that too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our show is, and I quote, is fun, but I gotta tell you something. When we do shows like the Meaning of Fandom, or we're celebrating a certain movie that turns a certain age one week, those shows can get very entertaining, but also we go on random tangents that have nothing to do with the movie half the time. But hey, people still tune in. People still say hi to us. The numbers go up every single time the replays go up on the channel, respectively. So hey, we're not complaining. Let's see. I'm interviewing SK Era, who's an indie author, tomorrow, 12 p.m. EST. That'll be fun. And what is it next? Oh gosh,
you got Christy Snips and Co. with Christy.
Well, that just happened. That was recent. Yeah, that was the most recent episode. Yeah, she's a good friend of ours. She does stitching and canvases. That's how she puts together her artwork. Christy was on recently. Lasheen, who's a cosplayer. He goes as Spawn, goes as the Predator. He's gone as T'Challa from Black Panther. He was on our show recently. Those were two great shows. I mean, honestly, both Christy, Lashina, myself, we could have talked for hours.
Mhm.
Lashina and I really got into it during our episode. So feel free to go back, watch it. They're all on the And I Quote playlist. You can find them there. They're a lot of fun. I got a show tomorrow, and then next week. The other thing we'd like to do is we do this once a month. That's why it's so special. It's called The Meaning of Fandom, where we gather 3 or 4 people together, and they basically share with us a particular character or fandom that means something special to them and why. Now, I put out a call earlier tonight that I'm looking for 4 people next Friday. All right. This is Friday, December the 6th, 7 p.m. EST. If you have got the guts to come on set and share with us a fictional character, this has to be a fictional character or fandom that you are so passionate about that you want the world and 7 billion people on this earth to hear it, then you got to show up next week to the show. And if you're interested, drop your name in my thread on my Facebook page. If you're interested and you can't find it, you can DM me slide into those DMs, as one might say, and let us know, because I'm happy to have returning people, but I'm also always happy to have fresh new faces to the set. So feel free to join us next Friday. It's going to be
I'd really like to say, yeah, I want to do that, but next Friday at 7 o'clock, we're debuting a new show on it.
Doggone it. So that means you're choosing Raw over the superior show SmackDown. Okay, that's fine. Listen, I'm used to being out-seated, out-branded, out-competitioned. It's fine.
If it was not the show's debut,
it's okay, man. Listen, you got your thing, I got mine.
Seriously, if it wasn't the show's debut, where I kind of have to be there in the producer's seat, but once these guys are good to go on their own, then if you do this again, or if you make it a monthly thing, I'd love to do it sometime.
Okay. We'll see what happens, man.
And I have 3 different characters that I am passionate about that are not my own.
Okay.
Which it'd be really easy for me to talk about this guy, right?
It's okay.
But,
it's all right. It's once a month, so if you can't catch us in December, maybe you'll catch us in January. You never know.
There you go.
We do it once a month, folks. It's once a month. That's why we keep it so special. And the other thing we're going to be doing, which I posted about on social media earlier this week, if not earlier, was it today? No, it was earlier this week. I'm going to bring 2 new shows / ideas to the table that I want to do. I want to get people on to talk about their favorite top 10 films of the 90s, because the 90s had so many great films in the 90s, so many great films. So I want to get people talking about their top 10 list of what they consider to be their favorite 90s films, or the best 90s films, whatever it is, that took place, that were released between the years of 1990 and 1999, respectively. It's got to fill into that window. And the other thing we want to do is top 10 favorite MCU movies, which stands for Marvel Cinematic Universe. So those are 2 ideas that I've been bringing to the table. People have already, responded, right? They said, I want to be in on this.
I can't give you top 10 MCU. I could give you maybe a top 5.
No, it's all right. I haven't seen all 30,000 of these movies either. So that's why I said I can give you 10 favorite of my MCU movies, but I don't know if I can give you any more than that, because I've only seen like the first 19 of them, which ended up with Endgame. So, of the 19 films that I have seen, I can literally give you a top 10 list. It's not that hard.
I can give you 5.
You can give me 5? Do you want to give me 5 right now, or you want to save it for when you're on the show?
I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll be on the show. But I can only give you 5. That's what I mean. I don't have 10
you can keep us in suspense if you want. I mean, we can wait until we book you on set for the show and next year.
I don't have 10 favorite MCU movies. That's
okay. You can name 5. If you want to name 5 right now,
I can tell you 5 that I like, but I couldn't tell you 10 that I like. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, there was too many misses.
Too many misfires, as one might say.
Yeah. But I'm a classic Marvel guy, and when every movie that they mashed people up in that were from different eras was instantly out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they took too much creative license with the alternate universe possibilities. If you want to call them what if movies, call them what if movies then. We understand that.
With all due respect, that's what they should have said, but they never did. And the other thing I don't like about is, sometimes people do this, sometimes people don't. The other thing I don't like about Marvel is that you need to label your films with numbers, not just subtitles. Yes. Because otherwise it's going to confuse all the viewers. Like if you say to somebody, hey, did you ever see that movie Thor Dark World? And I'm like, dude, there's like 40 Thor movies. Which one are you even talking about? I'm like, well, Thor: Dark World is the second one. And it takes place like 5 years after the events of like Infinity War, not Infinity War, like Age of Ultron. I'm like, what the heck? What is even an Ultron? I don't even know what that means. I'm like, well, you need to watch da 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 to understand what happened. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's a lot of homework for somebody. Like, if you're just now starting watching the MCU, now, granted, if you have access to the streaming service, hashtag not a sponsor, Disney Plus, they literally lay out the timeline of every
It's there
single
for you.
MCU movie. So you can literally go in there and start from the very beginning and like start it from where the timeline actually starts and be all caught out by the end of the marathon, should you choose to accept it. Because, not to pull a Tom Cruise on you here, but that would be your mission should you choose to accept it.
Yeah.
Which I really don't, because I'm fine with the 19 movies that I saw. But then again, I do need to watch one or two. So if they would make my MCU top 10 list for next year's show. But I will say, you're not going to see Thor: Dark World in my top 10 list. You're just not. And you're definitely not going to see Age of Ultron in that list.
You're not going to see 3 or 4 either in my top 10 list.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm extremely.
The first one was pretty good. I mean, introduced you to Coulson, gave you, it set the stage for a lot of good stuff afterwards, except the Thor movies.
Well. I mean, I'll be honest with you, because this is full disclosure for those of you who are watching or listening. I did a rewatch of the first Thor movie a couple weeks ago, and I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the first Thor movie. It doesn't bother me. It's a good setup and a good introduction for people who are not familiar with this character, much less Norse mythology, because Norse mythology is so different from the other Marvel characters. And the funny thing is, my niece just told me today when I saw her, she says, hey, we're reading this book. It's called Norse Mythology by Gareth Hines. And then she mentions the name Neil Gaiman. And I'm like, I know who Neil Gaiman is. And she's like, yeah, we were like talking about this book that he wrote about Norse mythology and Thor and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hey, Neil Gaiman's been in the industry for a long time, so I know who Neil Gaiman is. Okay. Yeah. And if you're reading some of his material, or you're reading something that's like supported by his material, that's even better. So
yeah.
And I said, hey, if you want to learn more about Norse mythology, all you got to do is just go back and watch the first Thor movie, because that's a perfect introduction for people who are unfamiliar with it. And she's like, and then my brother says, oh, well, she's seen all the Marvel movies. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to enhance your education, go back and watch the first Thor movie, because it's a good example of what the Frost Giants are, the 9 realms. There's Odin, there's Jotunheim, there's
everybody,
Odin, there's Earth, like all this other stuff. And then Thor specifically says to Jane Foster, your people call science, we call it magic. Well, I come from a place where they're one and the same. And I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Yep.
Why not you watch it? So hopefully my niece will take my advice and go back and sit and watch Thor. But if she doesn't, I'm probably just going to make her do it. So
see, here's the sad part. Here's the sad part of all this. That also is my the only Thor movie I liked. Okay, was that one. And Thor is one of those 3 characters I was talking about that I'm passionate about and would come out and talk about anytime. Okay, anytime. I'll even talk about the parody Thor stuff, like Thor by Parody Press Comics. I have that. I have a copy of that too.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that's Don Chin, Parody Press. They did a whole bunch of parodies of both Marvel and DC comics back in the day.
Oh, no.
And
I'm not familiar with this. So
there's one called The Mighty Thor, and he's swinging a golf club.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, is he swinging a golf club like Happy Gilmore might do? Or?
No, he's swinging it like Thor swing a hammer. It's like
okay, so it's same rotating motion. Okay,
but he's wearing golf knickers and shit. It's funny. It's great.
Did you just say golf knickers? Good Lord, man.
Yes.
Jeez. Did you hear that they're making a Happy Gilmore too?
I'm all for it.
Did you hear that?
I'm all for it.
And Shooter McGavin's going to be coming back too.
I'm all for it.
The Shooter McGavin, which, by the way, fun fact for those of you watching or listening at home, Shooter McGavin himself, Christopher McDonald, was one of the very first celebrities that I ever met at conventions.
Really?
I met Shooter McGavin. And by the way, just because he plays a jerk on TV and movies, he's a nice guy in real life. So he's really chill. So I met him and I said, hey, I just want to tell you something. 2 things. 1, I enjoyed your performance in Happy Gilmore because I grew up like a lot of people watching that movie, because I'm a fan of the Sandman. I like Adam Sandler movies from his early stuff anyway. Yeah. And I also said to him, look, I don't know if you realize this or not, but the show that you're on or were on like 1 or 2 years ago, Harry's Law with Kathy Bates, was really funny, and I think you were really good in it." And he says, "Oh, thank you. I wish we couldn't continue on if the network didn't, axe us after only 2 or 3 seasons." I said, "Yeah, man, I liked your character. You were your classic, playing the annoying jerk who likes to pick on everybody, but like it works. Like you're good at playing these roles." He said, "Oh, I love playing those roles. It's so much fun." And I said, "Okay." So he was chill, and then he signed an 8x10. This, by the way, this is a black and white photo from Happy Gilmore, the promotional material from the set from the movie, and it says, "To Ryan, yours truly, Shooter McGavin, Chris McDonald." And I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" I'm like, "Yes, Shooter McGavin, baby, it's Shooter McGavin. It's so good."
He eats pieces of shit for breakfast.
"You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?" "No." He just walks away, dude. It's oh god. Dude, it's one of the first legit it's one of the first autographs I ever got, and I'm just like, dude, this 8x10 of you like holding the golf club up because you got your golf pose going. It's so good, man. It's so good. So yeah, it was fun. Dude, not only did I meet him that weekend, but I was meeting guys like, what's his name, John or James Hampton from Teen Wolf and The Longest Yard. I mean, my God, like I met all these legendary big name stars. I mean, heck, I even bumped into, I didn't get a chance to really talk to him because he was kind of inebriated at this point. Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts was kind of, 3 sheets to the wind when I saw him. But you know what, man? It was so cool to see him. But now that I know that he's written a memoir and he's talking about some of the struggles he's had with his life and how much he's overcome them, and his relationship with Julia, his sister, has gotten better over the years. I'm like, you know what, man? Next time I see Eric Roberts, I'm going to have to get a selfie with him because that's cool that he wrote this memoir and he's being so open about his struggles and, the things he's passionate about and why he loves acting so much. I'm just like, damn, this guy's met so many. Like, Eric Roberts has had a big career, man. Like, he's met so many. He's worked with literally anybody who's anybody in Hollywood.
He was actually on one of the network shows a couple years
Was he?
ago. Yeah.
How was he at that point? Did you like him? Was he cool?
Yeah. I mean, he was really nice. As far as I could tell, I didn't, I mean, cracking jokes, having a good time, I mean, like you said, if you love what you're doing, it's not work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you love what you do, it's never called work. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I work my ass off.
Well, yeah, but
I love what I do. I really do. I have a great time talking to people about, their journey in this realm, right? The indie creators. I love talking to indie creators about what drives them, what brought them to the table.
Well,
and look, somebody today thanked me.
Really?
Thanks, Pops, for all you do. And it's like, look, man, if y'all wasn't making cool stuff for me to talk about, I wouldn't be doing this. So y'all just keep making cool stuff. And that doesn't matter if it's a show or comic or movie or whatever. If you're making cool stuff, keep doing it and keep giving me stuff to talk about. Otherwise I ain't got nothing. What do I got if nobody's creating anything cool?
We're not short on material when it comes to our guests on the show, man. Every time they come in and talking about what they're passionate about, you always learn something new, or you just learn to appreciate the field more because we've had so many indie authors and indie artists. Yes. And yes, Lori, you've been on the show. You've been on some of our shows too. You haven't been on the main show yet, which we got to get you on next year. But you're so freaking busy and Texas keeps pulling you away from me. I don't know why. And the other thing is, here's somebody that I know thrives on their passion because I don't think they do anything else. And by the way, this isn't a slant against you, and this isn't a negative against anybody when I say this, but first of all, and we've said this before the last time I was on this set, Carissa does not sleep. Carissa doesn't understand the meaning of the word rest. She doesn't understand the meaning of the word coffee. She doesn't understand the meaning of the word take a breath. All she does is work, and then work some more. And I say to myself, what on earth? It's kind of like that line in that old 80s movie. What possessed God to make a person like Rambo? No, God didn't create Rambo. God didn't create Carissa. She did. She created herself because she's a machine. You are dealing with someone who's an expert in guerrilla warfare, to win by attrition.
She is amazing.
She has the ability to do all these things that I could never imagine doing. And I texted her earlier tonight because I said, Carissa, I'm just wondering, what are you doing tonight around 7:00? Because originally I was going to do a different show, and then that didn't pan out the way that I wanted to, which, these things happen with show business all the time. But I was like, you know what? I'm in a really good mood today. I just want to do a show. I just want to talk shop about anything. I just want to do it kind of like a freewheeling, to be honest. And I said, Carissa, are you busy at 7? She's like, and then she didn't answer me for 2 hours, and it was long past 7. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just saw this message. And I said, it's okay. You're probably busy. LOL. And she says, obviously. LOL. And I'm like, well, obviously, because that's all you do is work. That's all you do is work. That's literally. Listen, I respect people who are workhorses and want to get after that mad money or whatever it is that they're doing, whatever you're passionate about anyway, because let's face it, running Kickstarters and all this other stuff, just doesn't necessarily pay all the bills. But if it's something you're passionate about, it drives you and you love doing it, then keep doing it for all Pete's sake. But Carissa, by all means, just remember to blink. Okay? Do this. All right? You see what I'm doing? This is called blinking. And you see what I'm doing right now? It's called breathing. Just breathe. Just breathe. Because if you don't do these deep breathing and blinking exercises with your eye muscles, because your eyes have muscles just the same as your legs, you have got to exercise these muscles and sleep once in a while. But I feel like she doesn't know how to do that, nor has he ever done it. So
I think she's one of the few people that is out here as much as I am. Okay. Look,
I don't get it.
I'm out here till the middle of the night every night. I'm up early with the kids every morning, and I'm out here working, and that's all I do. Okay, but she's the same. Look, it doesn't matter what time she's online too. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. If I'm doing, I'll look. Yep, Chris is up doing shit too. It's like every day. Yeah, I think the only day in the last 2 years that I wasn't out here doing my thing was the day I had surgery. And even that day, the network got 700 views. So, even the day I was laid on a hospital bed, the network got 700 views. So, everybody pitches in, making sure they share each other's stuff out and getting stuff seen. And that's really important with the network too, that everybody's helping each other get a longer reach. And you got to have a longer reach. And that's why, I open my group up to people like you. You're not in our network. That doesn't mean I don't want people to know what you're doing.
I post every day. So.
Well, yeah. But
I do it every single day.
It's like, there's a lot of groups that would be like, you're my competition. I'm not going to promote what you're doing. You might suck viewers away from me at the same time, if we have shows are on the same time. And it's like, I don't care about that shit. I care about getting people seen. And that includes your show, the guests that come on your show. I want them to be seen too. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all
win-win.
All work.
Yeah, but it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's all networking.
It's funny. I almost bought this shirt today and I didn't, because I'm not I like the movie, but I don't uber love the movie to the point where I'm willing to wear a shirt to support this fandom necessarily. But it always goes back to what our friend Ian Malcolm says, that life finds a way. And, well, there it is. So, I love Jeff Goldblum, but then again, who doesn't? But when he drops that line, dude, that line can be applied to so many different things.
Yeah.
But life does find a way to bring people together. So I find that awesome. We got plans for best 90s films next year. We got plans for top 10 MCU movies for next year. And also, I pitched this idea earlier today. I think I'm going to do. I haven't posted on social media, but I'm going to say it now. Top 10 80s films, because the 80s were such a great decade for film in so many different ways. So we're going to talk about the 90s. We're going to talk about the 80s, because they're both great decades within their own right. Okay. Talk about the MCU. That'll be interesting debate / discuss. And that's going to cause some fire in the comments for sure. But listen, we do it because we're doing our best to have fun, and we do it because we love it. So if we don't put your films on a list, whether it's the top films of the 90s, 80s, or whatever, don't take it personally. It's just our taste. And it's just, listen, this is all based on opinion. And all films are subjective, and they have been since the beginning of time. So if someone has Ghostbusters as a top 10 80s film and I don't, that doesn't mean I don't like Ghostbusters. It just means it just didn't make my list.
My top 10, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against Ghostbusters. Quite frankly, I've come to appreciate Ghostbusters a lot more now as an adult than I did when I was a child. So, which, by the way, fun fact for you, Pops, I was watching Ghostbusters earlier today, and I cannot help but just laugh hysterically every 2 seconds because these characters are dropping zingers one after the other, including Annie Potts, who plays Janine.
Yep.
You know, it's like, you have any hobbies? I collect spores, moles, and fungus. I'm like, dude, like, who can say that and get away? Only Egon can say that. And then and by the way, we use this line all the time on our show. And by the way, you probably have heard this on a number of shows, whether it's on this channel or on the And I Quote channel, respectively. There's one very important thing I forgot to tell you. Don't cross the streams. Why? It could be bad. I'm a little fuzzy on the whole good bad thing. What do you mean bad? Try to imagine all knowledge and all life and all molecules in your body exploding at the speed of light. Total platonic reversal. Okay, that's bad. All right, good safety tip. Thanks, Egon. Anyway, so I can just, you know what? Pops, do us a favor. Tell him about the Twinkie. What about the Twinkie? I mean, come on.
Dude, I love Twinkies.
Who doesn't? I mean, honestly, when he tells that story, this thing right here, Pops, represents all the psychokinetic energy in the New York area. According to this morning's sample, will be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds. That's a big Twinkie. Yeah. I mean, that's a big, big Twinkie.
Yes.
And I used to eat Twinkies like crazy when I was a kid. All right. So I have nothing against people who like to have Twinkies every day of the week or once a month. I don't care. You know,
I had a cat named Gozer that liked Twinkies.
Really?
Gozer awesome. The Destructor. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually had a cat that was such a little hellion when it was a kitten that we named it Gozer.
That's awesome. That's really cool. No, it's really cool. You know, I tried to find a big Twinkie shirt on TeePublic today because they're having this Black Friday sale, as all online retailers are. And I couldn't find one. They had a tons of Ghostbusters shirts, and they had one or two that I liked. But at the same time, I'm like, where's one that says that's a big Twinkie? Wasn't there. So I was like, well, not buying a Ghostbusters shirt.
There's a hole. There's a hole that needs to be filled.
Yeah. Well, they're actually, truth be told, there is that's a big Twinkie shirt on Etsy, which you can find
$35 for it, right?
It's probably a little bit more than a $15 shirt on TeePublic right now. I'll tell you that. But I did manage to get earlier today, just so everyone is aware, I got a Rambo shirt because I love Rambo. Okay, I'm talking First Blood Part 2, Rambo. I like all those. I also got I don't know if you're familiar with this, but this movie turns 35 next year. Tremors. You ever heard of Tremors?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I got a Tremors shirt because I've really come to appreciate how great of a film Tremors is. It's really, really good. It's really good. And what was the other one I was thinking about today? It was Tremors. It was Rambo. That was the other one. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on this? This is so sad. I should know this because I just ordered it like 2 hours ago before the show. This is gonna boggle my freaking mind. What is this? It wasn't a Ghostbusters shirt because I tried to look for one I didn't have. I gotta look at my.
This usually works.
This is how my memory. This is how stupid my memory is. I got to go into my email account and look up my receipt from. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It was an Optimus Prime. That's it. I love Optimus Prime.
How do you forget Optimus Prime?
I'm sorry, but I got an Optimus Prime T-shirt because I love the character. I love his speeches. I respect everything that Peter Cullen has done. I met Peter Cullen at a convention. He and I got a photo op together, and I was wearing a shirt that had the Autobots symbol on the shirt. So that was smart that I was wearing the appropriate shirt for that photo op. I didn't get his autograph, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to him because, as a lot of people know about this, pro photo ops are rush in and rush out. But I did say to Peter, I said, "Hey, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much. Loved your Optimus Prime, all that stuff." He's like, "Oh, thank you." And then I had to go away because everyone was being rushed in and out because that's how pro photo ops are nowadays, or from how they've always been. And I was like, man, the next time I see him, I'm going to have him sign one of my posters that I have of Optimus Prime. And then when I see him the next time, I'm also going to be wearing that shirt that I just bought today. So it says Prime Trucking Industry, no sacrifice, no victory. And then it also says, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. I'm like, there you go. That is just classic Optimus. And I freaking love that character. Love Optimus. Are there any other Optimus Prime fans out there? Because I'd love to know. So good.
I'm a Voltron kind of guy. No,
You're
okay.
okay. No, I don't mind people who like Voltron. That's a good property. I don't mind it.
What's up, Wood? What's up?
Wood, Jimmy Woods. What's up, Wood?
We just getting ready to shut this one down, but
Yeah, it's way past our bedtime around here. Gosh, I did all this Black Friday shopping, then I'm freewheeling and dealing with the the higher ups on the Madness Comic Network. I got to go to sleep, man. I got a big day tomorrow. I got a show to do. I got errands to run. I got to take stuff to the county dump that I already thought I was done with, but no, I'm not. I got to go to Lowe's again and get some stuff for my family. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's going to be a long day tomorrow, but hey,
for me, it's like I got to set up all my Saturday shows and all my Sunday shows, all my Monday shows, and get all my shorts set up for the weekend. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I set up my thumbnail and my flyer. Now I just got to set up the show for a show that I'm not doing until February of next year. But still, I like to plan my stuff out ahead in advance as much as possible. So if I have
run 4 shorts a day on the network because I want everybody used to seeing shorts there, because when we go to Roku,
right,
my shows aren't going to be on YouTube anymore. But then we'll be putting the shorts there that direct people to YouTube, to Roku, right?
Okay, all right. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you told me that, and it's also a good thing I have a Roku smart TV. So, thank you, Roku. You guys are awesome. 400 plus live channels of free cable.
Isn't it awesome? I love Roku, dude.
I'll tell you what. The one thing I've been watching more than anything lately is The Price is Right, the Barker era. It is great. It's nothing but 24/7. Price is Right, Bob Barker reruns, and I'm like, you know what? That was my jam back then.
I don't have time for that though, because you brought up Smallville earlier. I'm rewatching Smallville from beginning to end. I'm watching Sliders from beginning to end.
That was a fun show. I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, I love Roku because I'm finding all this cool stuff. Kung Fu, I'm watching those from beginning to end. Right?
I can watch Sliders. I don't mind watching that.
Oh, it's good. I love it. Man, Roku has been really good to me. You know, it's like I think I paid $25 for that little box, and man,
you're just going flipping to town, man.
Yeah, there's tons. I mean, football, college football.
They got did you know they have a Say by the Bell channel?
Yes.
There's a Say by the Bell channel. There's also a Baywatch remastered channel. So if you want to watch Baywatch for free, hey, you can watch it for free on what do you call it, Roku. You can watch Say by the Bell. You can watch $6 Million Man. You can watch
everything's on, man. Everything. Okay.
Is it true that you can watch Miami Vice from the 80s on there? Is Miami Vice on there?
I think you can find a Miami Vice.
Because if you can find Miami Vice, I'm going to start watching that because I love Miami Vice.
I just get amazed every time I find it. I mean, I just add them to my watch list. Oh, I gotta remember to hit this. You know.
Save it. Yeah, you gotta click that little star button and like save the channel or the network or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
But they got everything, live events, and I mean, news, whatever the frick you want to watch. Everything is there. Yeah, it's
also have sports too, which is a little bit easy. A little bit somewhat convenient for me to follow college basketball. So.
And we're in the process of building the website, which has the complete schedule for the week, so that you won't miss them. You'll be on time.
And you can go back and watch the replay of this once we're done, Wood. So, and by the way, thank you for saying that you remember Tremors, because Tremors is a fun B-level horror movie. It's right. Yeah, Rico and Tubbs, baby.
Rico and Tubbs.
Yes. Miami Vice is a good show. I like that show a lot. I'm gonna have to look for the channel. So.
Well, see, and also, like you remember in Smallville, the dude that comes in as the Green Arrow in Smallville.
Yeah,
I like him better than the Green Arrow on the CW.
Yeah, Justin Hartley. Yeah,
I always liked it. I thought he was a good freaking Green Arrow, and then when they started the show and they gave it to the other dude, I was like,
Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell is the gentleman's name.
I mean, it's not that I don't like dude, but he didn't have the blonde hair Green Arrow look at all, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he looked like Nightwing.
Yeah. Well, he was. People called him the poor man's Batman. So.
I mean, he looked like,
I've met Stephen Amell. He's a cool dude. Next time I see him, I'm gonna have to get his autograph though. But whenever I meet Justin Hartley, I'm gonna tell him, look, man, I didn't know anything about Green Arrow until you showed up. So Justin Hartley's the OG for me, always.
Yeah, I definitely like that.
Big supporter of Smallville, and I'm a big supporter of all the actors and actresses who came across that show, because there's so many legends that came, and so many young up and comers that came across that show. I mean, geez, Jessica Parker Kennedy was on Black Sails, and before that, she was doing Smallville.
Right, right. I'm watching that too. Black Sails. That's another one. Man, there's so much good stuff.
And she's on that. She's one of the lead characters, Jessica Parker Kennedy, which, by the way, she played a Plastique on Smallville, DC character.
Yep.
There's a fun fact for you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Ryan, this was fun, man. Thanks for having me.
It's always great talking to you, brother.
You should have me come back another time. I'm happy to come back.
Now, what I'm thinking is, instead of trying to woo you to bring shows over, I'm going to create a show just for you to host.
Really?
On our
wow.
Our
is that the way
I'm
it is?
I'm going to come up with something, and I'm going to be like, hey, Ryan, man, I got the show. You want to host it?
Well, hopefully I can fit it into my busy working 5-6 days a week schedule.
I will put it wherever you can make it work. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's got to be something that's perfect for you.
Because I want to respect your time, and I want to respect everybody on this network. So
yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. If you want me to come on and do something, we can talk shop. We can brainstorm some ideas. I can put something on paper or whatever.
Well, have you seen the show that I just started doing recently, the Fourth Wall interviews?
Oh, where I play a warped character and just pretend I'm not myself?
No, where I interview people's characters, not them.
Right. Yeah. Breaking the fourth wall, Deadpool.
It has been really fun because I interviewed Jay Moore's puppet from his Fae tabletop or RPG game a couple weeks ago. It was the best freaking interview. Dude got totally into character as Simon the puppet, right?
Yeah.
The one that he carries around the con with him. I don't know if you know Jay, but he actually carries this puppet around cons with him and talks to people with it, right? But I interviewed him a couple weeks ago. It was amazing. I interviewed the mayor of Slaughterville. I interviewed a guy named Kai from another comic book. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'm going to interview Mike Barron's Badger. Okay, so the object is to not. I'm not interviewing. Everybody's interviewing the creators. Everybody talks to them about the Kickstarter and about the art and about this and about that. I want to talk to the character. I want to know who the character is. Where did he come from? Where do you live? What are you doing? So it's like Crom just pops me in their world or dimension, or if it's a city in America, in that city, right? Wherever. Crom pops me there, and the first person I see, I'm like, hey, where the hell am I? And the interview begins. And I interview the character that I run into in that universe or on that world or whatever. And it's been fun, man. But those are the kind, like the Karen and Killer Karen show. Yes. I'm trying to come up with new, different stuff.
Okay.
It's more entertaining, more fun than just the same old, hey, man, your Kickstarter looks really good, bro.
So there's nothing wrong with stepping outside the box.
Yes.
Or stepping outside
the flow. Man.
Yeah, stepping outside of the comfort zone. No, I get that, but thank you so much for the offer. You and I can talk shop off camera. We don't have to do it now because we're very tired.
I would definitely find something that fits your particular talents.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
This is going to be interesting what you guys over at MC, what is it? Is it MCG or what's the acronym?
It's the MEG, the Madness Entertainment Group.
It's the Megalodon. I'm wondering what the Meg that Jason Statham is going to come up for me. It's a Megalodon. Holy shit. Yeah, sorry, that's my best impression of Jason Statham. Because I've seen the Meg, I just haven't seen the Meg Part 2 yet. But plus,
we are the Meg.TV though. That's us now.
Okay, well, the Meg.TV. Well, I look forward to hearing what the network executives at the Meg.TV have in store for me for 2025.
See that?
Oh, look at this. I will go back and rewatch some of that. Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Hey, listen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate anyone who gives me constructive feedback or just, comments, whatever. Thank you so much. Enjoy this replay. Feel free to check out my, I guess I should do my plugs here since we're already talking about it. Feel free to, there it is. Links in the description. Go to my link tree. It's all there. All my links are there. Wood and whoever else is watching or listening to this right now. You can check out And I Quote channel anytime you want. It's free entertainment for your value, and you're going to enjoy it. We talk about movies, TV series, we talk about comic books, we talk about books, things that have words in them. How can you read this? There's no pictures. Well, some people use their imagination. So, which is what we do sometimes. But we talk about all that kind of stuff and then some. So please check us out. We want to reach 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel before the end of the year of 2024. We want to reach that milestone. It'd be great. But thanks for having me. This was great. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram personally at RyanRPM5. You can follow us across all forms of social media simply at And I Quote channel, which the logo looks like this, which is behind me right now here on my virtual set. If you love pop culture, we want to hear from you. We want to interact with you. Every show we do, by the way, fun fact, we're a live show. Every time we go live, we are live. Nothing is pre-recorded. Nothing is, a screen for audiences and critics or the network executives, so to speak, ahead of time. We just go live and we have fun with it because we love these shows. We have a format to them for the most part. Sometimes we go on tangents we probably shouldn't have, but we do it anyway. And it's fun because people love to be passionate and people love to talk. And I'm a jibber jabber. I've been that way since I was born. Thanks, Mom. And I have no regrets. So thanks for having me. Pops Van Zandt is a good gentleman and a host, and I hope to come back here to Freewheeling Fridays and do this again with you sometime if you want to have me back. But
hell, you want to host this show? You could host this show.
I am up this late on the weekends because I don't work on Fridays or Saturdays, respectively, I might add. So who knows? Maybe I'll be the new host of Freewheeling Fridays. You never know. Because podcasting has been very, very good to me. So, and I want to keep it going.
So much fun.
I want to keep this going. I want to keep doing this until I'm 157 years old. So, let's keep the momentum going because I enjoy this.
I tell you the truth, and this is the same. I tell everybody this.
Okay.
Look,
yeah,
I want this thing to continue on after I'm gone.
Yes,
that's all.
And I respect that.
I just want somebody to go, yeah, man, that was a great thing, and we're going to keep it rolling. We're not going to let it die.
Oh no,
that's all I want. It doesn't have to be 1 million subscribers or I mean, it'd be nice, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be. It doesn't have to be huge. I don't have to make $1 million. It'd be nice. I ain't gonna lie, but I just want it to outlive me. I want it to have enough. People loved it enough that they keep it going after I'm gone. That's all.
Which is completely fair, and I respect that about you. So, but yeah, this was fun. Thanks for having me. I hope to come back again sometime. And who knows, maybe you'll see me on this network in 2025 doing some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on it, folks. I promise. Y'all like Ryan? We're gonna get him over here somehow. Even if it's a co-host a show with me. Or something. We'll figure something out for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody on Rumble, we love you. Thanks for watching. Everybody over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Bunch of people watching on the Critical Blast Twitch page or Twitter page. Like you guys, love you guys. Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Peace, everybody. I'm gonna play a couple more of these commercial type things because I got friends. I got friends that got books, and part of what we do is make sure that you see those books.
Live long and prosper.
Leviathan by Mike Barron and Richard Bonk. Check this one out.
When a series of shipping disasters points to a mysterious sea monster, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson leave the comfort of Baker Street and board a freighter where they encounter unexpected betrayal and come face to face with the enigmatic Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus. As they delve deeper into the case, they uncover a conspiracy involving a Russian Tsar with an airship that rains destruction on unsuspecting cities. With time running out and the world on the brink of war, the heroes must use all their skills and resources to stop a massive conspiracy and prevent global conflict. From Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron and illustrator Richard Bonk, dive into the depths of adventure and unravel the mysteries of the sea with the world's greatest detective in Leviathan. Order now at baroncomics.com.
Critical Blast Logistics, getting it done, getting it there. Critical Blast Logistics, getting it done, getting it there.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands and
Have a good night.